Game-Geki. Silent Hill Ascension.
Welcome to Game-Geki, the show that's celebrating 100 episodes. You know, this is their 100th stream, so to speak. So let's celebrate it by starting right at the start of their pre-show this time. You know, it's really let them have their full, a bit like the one before Christmas. Good morning, evening, night, audience. Yeah, see that tutorial episode, if you ignore that and the two episodes where we didn't actually have a show or anything because we kind of got it a bit wrong, this is their number 100, so
welcome
let's
to
give
the
them
Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. I
full
am Noah,
one.
and please forgive me, I did not have time to do my makeup today. But I will now summon my co-host, Morgy Morge. Lordy Lord, let Layla rise!
The pageantry tonight is obviously on
You are here with myself and the wonderful, the magical Noah for the pre-show at 6 p.m.
Whoa, tonight.
Just enjoying
Yeah,
the
correct my
journey
spelling
that
of
is
pageantry.
Silent Hill Ascension, and then after you're finished, you're gonna come right back to us for the post-show. Noah, what a treat! Would you mind telling the good people what that good thing called Silent Hill Ascension is?
It would be my absolute darkest pleasure. Silent Hill Ascension is a socially interactive streaming series where all of you collectively shape and experience its evolving story. Collaborate and compete with others to make the choices you want. When each decision ends, that choice locks in as canon, and that is the version of the show that everybody sees, a canon story shaped by you, the participating audience, every weekday. Now, let's watch our setup scene here. Other Brit
There you
attacks
go.
as
They say this pretty much
and
every
the
single
truth
time
about
they
Brit's involvement in the
start one of these
violence
shows.
enacted
As
is
I always say, I'm
revealed.
DDK. Joined as always by Silent Hill Ascension. So these pre-shows are always about 20 minutes long, and pretty much have them recapping one of the episodes from the previous day. And this particular one, she got drowned by her own sister.
There's no one here.
Terrible. The chat do say some really
Rachel said
weird
to
and
come
random
here,
stuff. I don't
like
fully
Britt,
understand.
And then,
I don't quite understand
well,
where Furry Eric
she
has come
guessed
from,
here, somehow.
but it has come up before. Take him by the collar, Diaru. You know, like Doctor Who. Oh no, my video isn't loading. Oh yeah, Leonardus. We had video problems last time.
Britt? Oh God.
Oh yes, of course.
Somebody, please!
That's Morgy Water. What? Dang. That is the one. That is one
You
filthy
think I would just be
fountain.
wallowing in my undeserved redemption?
Ah, fuck.
There's a time
But,
when seeing
you know.
the Johansson sisters tear each other apart would have given me great joy. But now I have to ask, what the hell was that?
It's hard to explain.
Then I'll expect an
2 weeks
interview for
ago,
my
you said you
podcast.
wouldn't emerge me. Now,
This is giving me flashbacks.
here I am, alone.
The day you told me
That's,
to come here.
That's
The day your
sinister.
sister waited with that gun.
What I can play is this sound effect.
I'm sorry.
Wait, don't go. Don't leave me here alone.
Oh, I'm good at fountain monsters. Yeah, I suppose not. It's all monsters out, isn't it? The monsters.
If I don't come back, just make sure Astrid is
Look.
okay.
Up the fountain.
Wait,
No.
where are you going?
To finally take care of myself.
Does that mean she's going to go and have a wank?
Ooh,
that I write
that was a creepy moment. where
Finally.
other Brit taking matters
And
into her
take
own hands.
care of
Layla,
herself.
can you break it down for us?
Oi, oi.
If by matters you mean Astrid's head. Nailed it. He really said, get dunked. And, truly that fountain, I feel like, has been in disrepair for like 3 days, and that was the muddiest thing I've ever seen. Which, fountains and like water sources do
Brit
that.
could be
so-
being. Well, actually,
Right,
Brit
the
should be
uplift
okay
healing
because
those,
she's
thank
got high hope, right?
Yeah, man. There's
But
a lot
Final
going on
Fate is
between,
approaching, so she'll be
Astrid
probably
having
done
to
with the
balance
story, I
just
guess.
being attacked and then knocking her sister unconscious potentially, and then the reveal that Brit apparently told
Oh, yes,
Nils to show up when Ava was in town.
Yesterday's
so.
episode.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Norway a little more in a bit, but let's discuss Pennsylvania now.
I say
Leila,
episode.
Can you do us the honors and production? Can you please show
Yesterday
that up on screen?
was a
Would be my honor, as it were.
special night.
So Eric reveals the truth about his role in the steel mill accident. A lot of accomplices coming to light this week. Then Eric arrives at the Foundation just in time to see how Rachel deals with Faith's followers. And then Rachel devises a plan to protect Faith from harm and insists Eric must enact it. We're going back to the steel mill. It's going to be...
Yeah, so the plan is basically triggering Eric's worst trauma ever. And going to the place
This
where
is super sad.
he feels guilty for
Oh,
what
super
happened,
sad.
for the accident.
Probably everything I said.
It's still unclear if Rachel was engaging in insurance fraud.
Oh,
while
the
that happened.
yes,
We're
the
still not
split up
sure.
of the two. Yeah, I
But
get you.
We know that Rachel.
So some of the people in the chat are
claims she was out of town doing some other business. But
that,
anyway,
Joe
Eric
Hogan, the
consults
person with
Krista
Hogan in the name,
basically,
is upset that they
not
got
so
split up.
much consults,
At least
but
for now in the storyline.
tries to think what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and in
I
that,
should
in
be
that
down.
kind of consultation appointment, Krista makes one last pass, right? One last try. And there's a decision with regards to that, which is how will Eric answer Krista's question about choosing Rachel? And that ends in 17 minutes, folks. And the choices are, she's Faith's mother, I belong with her, or I belong with you. And honestly, she's Faith's mother is at 45%, but I do feel like I belong with you could pull it out in the last minute here. So
I
we'll see.
belong with you.
But
Yeah. Don't forget
Our
the
battleship.
final pleasures of the Morgy. They have a bond, Eric and Krista. And, I actually, the way she asked it, it kind of felt
You were
rhetorical
all working
to
late
me.
back then. I was out of town.
Like,
Those ones you
he's
do a
a
line.
simp for Rach, we know that, but I don't know, maybe he's gonna push through. Maybe there's one more.
It's pretty much all these
you know,
first 20
chance
minutes
for
are is
Krista
me
and
just
Eric to
trying to
ship.
wake up,
I don't know. It is possible.
or if I've
But
not been to
anyway,
sleep
it's
beforehand,
unclear
then
what to do with Faith.
maybe I'm more
how
awake.
She's
But,
gonna get out of that monstrous situation, which she seems to be controlling.
Pre-shows are largely the same sort of thing, though. They kind of go through
It's
the
all quite
the
creepy. But
list of
Krista does want to ascend, She does
establishing
have that, like,
what this is,
happily ever
what to
ascension
do,
after,
what happened recently, etc.,
idea
etc.
that she fantasizes about with Eric and Faith. She doesn't even like Faith. That's how much she likes Eric. Like, but anyway, let's talk about Norway. Production, can you please show that up on screen? And Leila, do us the honors, por favor.
In Norway, Astrid makes her decision about Haugen. Sad. Brit comes to Astrid with promises to set things right, but everything isn't as it seems. And then other Brit attacks Astrid.
I reckon I
and
should
the
quote
truth
the
about
greatest
Brit's involvement in the
line,
violence
which is
Ava
straight from the very
enacted
first
is
episode.
revealed.
Is
And which is to say, she was the one that told Nils to show up to the town square
potato with
the day that
legs.
Ava fired. So again, a lot of accomplice revelations this time around.
Grandma.
Right, and I almost feel like it
Johansson.
was all a ploy so that Nils would get the prescription for those nice pills.
I thought that was the
Like,
greatest
longest
line.
possible
Greatest
That
quote.
was a long con that started even before time began.
I wonder if they see the
But,
chat like
yeah,
small.
you
I
know,
reckon
'cause
there
he
should
does
be an
have to
option
take
to
those
shrink the
medication
font or
all the
something
time,
because it's really big.
Thanks to
Takes a
Brit,
lot of space on
apparently.
the screen.
And wait, let's give a minute to talk about the major rooster blocking that Orson caused this wedge in our how grid.
Oh yeah, I'm getting around to that.
boy-shaped wedge just coming between our girls. And it is tragic. Because, again, I was threatened that I forget things happened. I genuinely forgot this happened.
Orson is the worst. Damn.
Absolutely, I simply do
It's a
not
potato-shaped wedge.
I was high on the Howgrit train. I was riding on top of it, you know, I was feeling the breeze. And then this little boy laid down the tracks and derailed it, and I totally forgot it happened. And then I had to face the reality of adults making adult decisions.
This is terrible, and I understand that, you know,
This is all I do. I just sit here making jokes for the first 20 minutes
because,
because, you know.
Son, definitely having a very, very severe tantrum over there in the bedroom. I'm not sure that kicking out, like, I think Eduardo mentioned it on the last show, that, like, the fact that Orson so wants to kick out Haugen probably means that she's cool, like there's something good about her, because he's being all, you know.
What do you call a lollipop shaped like a rooster?
Emulatory.
Wait,
She's
no, I
also
can't make
good
that
with a
joke.
gun, which I think is maybe important during the monster invasion portion of our television program here, you know?
Correct.
Or interactive program, rather.
Correct. But yeah,
Emo
it's definitely,
later.
I do hope, I still have hope that they might reunite, you know. I feel like Haugen took it like a champ. She's, it actually was riveting for me to watch. But let's talk about our system that makes it all happen here, our fate and hope system. Layla, can you please take
Yeah,
us
see,
through
I
it?
largely don't tend
I hope you
to
are paying attention,
air these
to them
pre-shows.
fates and them hopes as we are approaching
The most as they are.
the climax of the story, as we can all kind of feel
Kind
in
of
our
just
bones.
going for business
so
and setting
fate
things up.
As
They
we can
don't
recall, fate happens during decisions.
usually
Hope, however, is more influenced
have anything
by
so
the
amazing
interactive
in it that
portion,
it
the other
needs to
interactive
be
portion of the
aired
show,
every
like the
single
endure
time.
scenes and the mini games and the mindfulness activities. Sorry, the endure streams and the mindfulness activities. Can't talk today. A character's hope needs to be
Someone
high
just
enough for
walked
them to
behind
survive a
Leia.
crucial story moment. And as I said, those are, I believe,
Can you
events
still impact
approaching.
episode 1?
So, Noah, are you ready?
First of all, I'm not
Well,
ready. I'm never ready, Layla.
I think I
And
impacted
second,
episode 1.
It's fate o'clock for our girl Brit.
Using
It
clips
seems
in
like so
the
far, by the way,
music video,
y'all
right?
kept her sober.
There you go. That was the
So
best
I just
impacting I
want
could
to
do.
commend everybody that as we face, you know, the end of Brit, we don't
Can't
know
spell the
what
word
end it will
episode.
be
I must be
exactly, but,
dyslexic by now, 'cause it's like
y'all
pseudo.
kept her
I always
sober,
do
and
that.
that's something to commend, I think. We
Brain
could have
is
seen, we
not
could,
capable of
for
putting
some reason,
simple
this is something we
letters
don't
in
want
order.
to mess with. It's not like, you know, something expendable like Rachel's eye.
Yeah, you know, Karen, one eye you can replace.
Yeah.
Dug up like mummies with fake eyes.
She kind of looks like Sting.
Whatever, you don't need
You know,
one
the
of
wrestler.
those. But, you know, her journey on sobriety, I'm also glad we've kept that quite intact. And I believe her hope is also quite high because when it's Brit in that hospital, Brit up against those,
Jeez, you could
those
see
nasty,
Hogan,
nasty,
that
nasty creature
confirmed,
friends that we have.
being
Y'all
our wife.
pull it out for her. You get your best tapping
I
fingers
think
and your best swiping fingers and all the other things you gotta do when you match
Someone's
inputs
married?
to
I'm not-
what's happening on screen in order to help
Not
our
quite
wonderful
sure.
characters. And
The stickers make it really hard
Noah,
to tell.
before we go to the decision closing this day,
Lordy
I
Lord.
also hope that the audience knows they're fated for a lovely little surprise with our very own Stefan in the post show.
Yes, you are going to get, and this is one of the reasons I went without makeup today, because I can't have my channels interfere, because I'm going to be channeling
Keep those chakras
questions
aligned,
from the
yeah.
audience, and I'm going to bring them into life.
Chakras.
Layla,
Can't
let's
spell
talk about
chakra
our
either.
closing decision, though, the other one. Speaking of other stuff.
Yeah, what will Brit do to stop other Brit from harming Astrid? Embrace her, kill her, or bargain with her?
Love
very
her.
Embrace her, kill her, very close. A 48-45 with a lovely rally on bargain with her to disrupt at 6% right now. So, folks, you got 7 minutes.
Alright, Mr. P.
With me and Noah, and I know, like, listen, I hate to tell you not to look at us for like 10 seconds.
Mr. P.
but
Slosh.
It says final fate.
Or were they saying hi
so-
to Destined Death? Because they're also
Yeah,
technically
no,
DD.
that's the time. That's the time to really make a final impact on our girl. You know, so Brit.
Someone
Let's
refused something.
do it. Is she going to kill other Brit? Embrace
I'm
her,
not ready to let
or
Brit go.
bargain with her, all
Brits.
while sober. This is a hard
What's the
ask,
most
but I know this is. I see that Drew here is saying
Brit-esque
in the chat, I'm not ready for Brit to go.
icon?
And this one is a bit, you know, it's kind of. It reminds
this
me a bit
jam
of
here.
a Toby. You
There you
know, we do love our alcoholics in this show, and it's always really sad when we have to say goodbye. But you know, I don't think she has to end like you know, she. It can be different. It can be different, and I, honestly.
You know,
I feel
Embrace
bad
could
for
be
Brit when
go
she
mad
came to a
and
realization that she
kill
just,
everyone.
like,
You never know.
knocked out Astrid, like her sister, because she wasn't aware of that. That was other Brit.
Yeah, well, she was, you know, trying her best for that not to happen, but
Yeah.
she was trapped in mirrors and windows and such, as we saw.
True.
Which is not a convenient place to be trapped when you're
Still a
trying to
darling.
stop your other self from doing bodily harm to your sister.
So fountains
but
have gone.
now we're at the pivotal choice of whether or not
But
that's going to keep
PA's
happening,
people
or how that's going to come to an end. And
are goners.
audience, it's you. You are the fates weaving this tale and you know, doing your little
See,
threads
gone,
cutting them
and
as
then
you do.
goners.
So let's see where things shake out.
Let's see where things shake out. Now, reminder, stick around, not just for the show, but also for the post-show, because we are channeling from the other world, with the other realms, questions.
Carl
for
got rid of the
Stefan.
smiling Carl, you're right.
So,
And smiling
it is
Carl was an
almost
absolute
time for the
monster.
show. Layla, you mentioned
Look at
endurance
you sit
before.
there
Can you please
and drink
like,
fountain
go over
water.
it again?
Absolutely. When the
that a
endurance
quote?
scene starts, you will have to time your inputs to the actions you see on screen to help our character. Collective success means that the character's hope will
Story
know
of cameos
what?
are done. Maybe they're today, actually.
Otherwise, it will what?
I was told that I'd won a cameo
If
like,
a character
on
fails
Monday.
to endure,
So
they may not serve. Thank you for doing that.
let's see if that happens to be for today, because otherwise they could have held that cameo contest this weekend.
These endurance teams are one of the best places to earn large amounts of influence points. Remember,
The
success
best
or failure
place.
is part of the collective story and not an individual judgment unless you subscribe to the Auntie Judgment Plan.
Auntie Judgment.
will judge you. And Layla and I are really waiting
I've
by the phone,
always
so don't
wanted
hesitate.
to be
And
judged.
it's one of those big cartoon, like rotary phones.
Old school.
Yeah.
But we are starting very soon. Layla, would you do the honors of recapping? Like, the only problem, it's going to be great with Stefan here, but I
Where
am going
can
to
I sub?
gravely miss you.
Wait, not like that.
Well, I'll just be dying somewhere in a corner without you, and then you'll revive me again because that's what we pay for. That's your job is to come in and resuscitate me. All right. So in Norway, Astrid once again decided to go the path alone, and she just got dunked on by other Brit. We're gonna see the resolution of that and how Brit chooses to kind of handle
Brit.
the rest of her
You
life
mean
and her
other Brit?
burdens. And then over in Pennsylvania,
fans
we got
of Brit
Hernandez
must be the
family
Britons.
also about to,
That makes
you know,
sense.
face this thing that they've been talking around and dodging for such a long time, and now it's,
I
they
reckon I
have
need to
go
post
back
that as well.
in order to save themselves
go.
and their daughter and this child.
It's not annoying at
possibly.
all, is it?
So,
Giant
Noah,
things filling the
nothing
whole
but
screen.
tension. I hope you're ready to channel our audience to Stefan later today. But any final thoughts before we let the good people go?
Please enjoy, and we will
The name
be here
Janus
with you in the
is one
other
letter away from
side.
anus. Oh, she returned from whence she came, deaf. That was full circle, that. I can't throw the bread because I don't have the bread. The I think the bread is like a specific reward or something. It was pointed out that actually some of these are rewards, like this star one, for doing certain things in the game. I think it was for winning a vote. You know, when I dumped 1 billion points into winning that vote that one day, I got summit for my troubles, but I didn't really realise it. And yeah, they were going on about goo because Rachel got melted in the endurance in the end of yesterday's stream, which you know, made that episode stand out. Some people are really upset about it though, because, you know, I guess in some people's headcanon, they're more concerned about saving everyone and getting the best ending for everyone. But they're not against the computer, they're against each other, so it's not really wrong for people to lose. These are the woods. Those woods. Johansson's woods. Orson's woods. Brittany's on the run. Is she going to kill her of herself? Embrace her of herself? It could have been a rally.
You're out here.
That rally down there could be for this.
I told you they would come for us.
Final battle.
I can control them. Just
Brit versus
bastard alone,
Brit.
please. You can't do anything without me. I never asked for you to come. Yes, you did. Countless times.
Damn it.
You're
Told
too
you.
weak to survive without me. You're a fucking liar. Ava might have pulled the trigger, but you trapped her prey.
I'm coming!
Lured your friends to town in exchange for a few pills. A prank, she called it.
The
I
Nils
didn't know what
pills.
she was doing. And while your friends laid there full of holes, dying, you were off fusing like a fucking junkie. And then I was born.
So we've gunned down Nils,
I kept us going.
and then it was up to other Brit to keep him alive.
You're right. I'm a fucking junkie. I like getting high because I wasn't strong enough to deal with my shit.
Alright, swung to embrace her in the end.
I'd probably be in
So
the
that
ditch somewhere.
presumably get the
I'm grateful,
redemption ending now.
but that doesn't mean I like you. Us. Me. But that's okay. Astrid still has to pay. This isn't about Astrid. What are you doing? Thank you.
No, don't embrace me.
But I don't need you anymore. Stop it. Let go of me. I think I'm strong.
You were
enough
supposed to
do
kill her.
this on my own.
Brutal killer.
Go. You need me. Please.
Oh, I guess she managed to conquer her demons, but where the hell is she now? She got to conquer her physical demons, as well as metaphorical. Meanwhile,
Eric, tell me, do you love me or Rachel?
I love Faith. And Rachel will always be a part of my life because she'll always be a part of Faith's.
I should have known better.
I never made you any promises.
No, you didn't.
the love triangle has been shattered.
Eric was just filling me in on the plan.
We should go.
Yeah. Look,
This question still has a few more
Rachel.
days, I think, till Monday.
if something happens and we don't make it, promise me that if something happens to me, you'll take care of Faith.
We need to get moving.
Yeah.
Did Chris's hair just kind of do a little dance then? I'm gonna have to like, watch that back. Thinking about it. It's loading in. Damn it. The emo later is galloping away. The Johanssons have to defeat the emulator before they can final fate. Escape the story. I passed out.
What the hell?
Actually, right back at the AA place.
Would you like to share anything with the group today?
Ah, good. They're in session. They're all happy to be here.
Britt? Yeah.
I'm glad they can keep running
Dude.
this. Brit is redeemed.
I helped my sister Ava kill my friends. I led them right to her. And then I led myself right into a bottle. I thought I was running away from what I did, from my family, from my past. I was running from myself. But now I've realized all the shit that's happened to me, what I've done. I needed to just sit with it and hope I can finally forgive myself, because
By being
I'm
redeemed,
done
is she
running.
just done?
Thank you for sharing, Britt.
Well done. Good job, Brit. Ah, the collector's here. Hello, Brit. She redeemed herself from being collected. That's strange. Do we see endings like that on the other characters? Maybe we didn't. It was just long, long ago. Today we're being assisted by Mira Bates and Black Mage Heart. We're helping Astrid to endure. They're going to break the glass if they keep that up. Oh, too drowsy today. Oops. Oh, perfect click. That's almost like pure RNG, whether those get perfect or not. That was a costly failure. All the way to maximum red. All the way up to blue. Next room, and here's Mira Bates. We hardly knew you. You'd think I'd be more accurate with a mouse, but I kind of go, whoa, a little bit too far, overshot, undershot. I have to get out of here. Demon doggies. Get along, little doggies. Somehow I would click my way through that one. It's too much work, though, to click those well. Hard work. And you have to step it up a gear as well. Oh, shotgun. I'm just too tired to click buttons properly. What a foul-rated monster these dogs are. And we've seen this shot of the grill steak dog 1,000 times. We've endured many times. Not 100 times, because you have to be here at 2 AM in order to endure, and I've definitely not endured every single time. I've managed at least twice a week every single week, though. And to that, you know, that's dedication to the cause. Not as much dedication as Turbo Bastard, who seems to have been along for the ride for every single show. And he appears to be up at like 3 in the morning every time, somewhere from Europe. Now, Black Mage, you're lying still. Dead. Oh, that's perfect. It's not even like remotely touching it. How is that perfect? Get along, little doggy. I'm just incapable of firing into that extra required gear for the taps. So, were you going about that speed? The pro game, my friends, hardened gamers could probably do it. Ikadami and Smegzilla, but I can't. It's not really in my wheelhouse. Nevertheless, we succeeded. The community succeeded. I did an average performance. And we helped Astri. Astri? We helped Astri. Well, Mage, you made a very fantastic corpse. Yes, Mage. A sublime corpse. I think the Bruiser only shows up as face drawing. Has the Bruiser really done much in the actual show? There are so many questions. Oh yes, these questions were pre-submitted, so I'm no doubt we're going to hear the you know, the gold, the ones that people have had time to think about. At least I think they're pre-submitted. I've no idea where people are communicating with the hosts outside of this interface. Cups are glowed. We def got the bad ending. No. Oh my god, she's mourning.
Welcome, guys, ghouls, girls, and everything in between. I am Noah, and I conjured here Stefan.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see everyone, sort of.
Yeah, so Stefan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We did see, before we get into anything else, we saw Brit's final fate, and our girl was redeemed.
Redemption.
She was indeed. Thank you, audience, for redeeming her.
Thank you so much, audience. This was a really beautiful scene. I loved seeing everybody clap for our girl just before our finger friend showed up.
And yeah, just
to
to
collect.
summarize this,
I
Yeah,
see Mr.
was
P
a
Slash
case of
says Layla looks different. You know, my spells
Killer
don't
was
always
damnation,
work
Embrace
exactly
was
how you plan.
redemption.
Uh,
But you know,
anyway,
I tried
let's
to
get
push Kill
right to it.
because
Like we're
psychotic
gonna
person
talk a
like
lot
that.
more about Brit's final fate.
The only question
That we
currently in
got to see
flow
tonight. We're
is
gonna
what will
talk
Eric
more
do?
about it on
No
Monday.
new
But
questions.
since we have the wonderful Stefan
You know,
here,
these fanatics
I'm
might be my
going
cameo.
to
So in theory,
guess,
if we execute this plan,
Stefan, in case
we might be
everybody
killing
doesn't know,
we might
can
be
you
killing
briefly
myself, which is a
tell
terrible,
everybody
terrible way
your
to go.
role here in Silent Hill Ascension?
Gotta
Of
leave Rachel
course,
to the fanatics
I'm
instead.
Genvid's chief creative officer, and I was
Change
the
my way of
supervising creative
thinking.
director on the project. I helped us pitch it to Konami. You know, came up with the original concept, pitched it, and got it approved, and then you know, helped lead the team to here. Here we are.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Still, people don't believe me that this is not just a hobby. And really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's get right to it. I am here conjuring the spirits of our audience, and I'm going to conjure question number 1 from Foxo der Fuchs.
Number 1.
They are asking, in what way will the events of Silent Hill Ascension be canon on Silent Hill?
Yeah, absolutely. So Silent Hill Ascension is entirely a Silent Hill canon story. It's part of Konami expanding the Silent Hill universe, you know, as they've done with every one of the Silent Hill games and movies. Although the interactive
See,
core
called that guy.
is
It's canon.
the canonical path.
Greatest canon.
For the Silent Hill universe. Everything in Silent Hill Ascension is canon, which means that it's part of the universe, and who knows what Konami may or may not do with it in the future.
Yes, we don't know. Keep an eye out. Thank you so much, Stefan. Second question from Dermopster. Did you take any major inspiration from the earlier Silent Hill games?
Yes, absolutely. So we deliberately did not do direct tie-ins to the earlier Silent Hill games. We didn't have characters from the games appear.
Silent Hill has not been mentioned once in the 90 weeks on this show.
But obviously, it's part of the Silent Hill universe. We're drawing upon the same themes that Konami has been working with since Silent Hill 1. All of the boundaries of the lore, the things that can and can't happen in a Silent Hill story, comes directly from all of the work that Konami has done over many years to establish what a core Silent Hill story is. And in terms of like the kind of storytelling that we were interested in doing, obviously we're big fans of Silent Hill 2. And I also happen to be a big fan of the work that Sam Barlow did on the franchise and played through those two games as well. But really, I mean, we played all of the previous Silent Hill games, looked at what they were doing with the evolution of the universe over the decades, and found a space where we could bring something new to the Silent Hill universe with what we're doing with the idea of multiple simultaneous protagonists and locations and main monsters, while at the same time honoring a lot of the ideas and obviously sticking to the rules of the Silent Hill universe that were established by Konami over the previous decades.
Right, so it sounds like you had
We're
to
all
do a
canon
lot of
as the
very
Gigi
hard
Challenge
work
people.
playing
Yep.
all the
I'm definitely
Silent Hill
canon.
games, and God bless you for your bravery. But now I have a question just for community, because we did see Rachel not succeed in the monster chase. What do the endure scenes represent?
So I like to allow the audience to have interpretation and debates among themselves about exactly what things mean. But obviously, the endure scenes don't cause the character to die in the show, in the main story. So what failure of an endure scene means clearly is not the kind of death
And to satisfy our need for a
the
game.
audience is able to drive a character towards
Sort of game.
through story decisions. And so their
No, you
story
told us
fates
they're delusions.
are their canonical fates. What happens in the endure scenes are part of their journey.
Calling
And
them
obviously
deluded
it's
fools.
tied to their hope going up and down, and what they're experiencing in those endure scenes is impacting their survivability in the long term. But failing a single endure scene is obviously not.
Yeah, I'm a bit
kicking them out of
confused
the
with that
story.
with Brit. She just seems to be,
Right,
you know, she
and
gave up.
gratefully
She just
so.
left.
Because, you know, there's a lot still to unravel with Rachel here. So Taria88 asked, was the Howgrid story written before the audience commented about it, or did it happen thanks to our headcanon?
Well, the Howgrid story was part of the story all along, but it happened in the way that it happened, and it went in the direction that it went because of your input. So we were all on the
Is
same
it that time again?
wavelength about
It's
where
minigame
it
time.
might go, obviously, because your headcanon aligned with what ultimately happened.
Don't do that. Popped
Yeah,
in to
that
try
was,
and rob me of my
definitely, like,
mini games.
those possibilities existed as a fundamental part of the story.
Right. And also, maybe we incepted it into your brains. I don't know. Maybe it happens. Sometimes by accident I do that.
Damn it. Not my
Andres
brains.
Rodriguez asked, what's the significance of the seal of Metatron being in the collector's belt?
So, I'm not going to confirm or deny that it is definitely the seal of Metatron, but I will say that when we were developing Silent Hill Ascension, we
Mightiest
came
of
up
all the
with
angels,
a lot
Metatron.
of deep lore about Radcliffe and the Foundation and its offshoots and heretics and Messiah and so on, going back hundreds and even thousands of years, and what those sort of different strains of belief
Did these strains of belief go all the way back to Silent Hill?
in our story
Oh no.
in contemporary times really mean. And so all of that deep lore that we developed to give ourselves this underpinning for what exactly it is that Rachel and Eric and Xavier and Krista and so on have gotten themselves into by being part of the Foundation, and how that causes them to react to what's going on when they start seeing monsters and children start disappearing and so on. We added symbolism hidden in various places throughout the experience that draw upon that deep lore that we developed.
It was all deep lore.
And
If you dig
how
into that lore deep,
the
you'll find that
ideas
it's
of the
so
Foundation
deeply connected to
play
Silent
out
Hill.
over the history of our world, like our window on the human world through the Silent Hill storyline, for a long time, and then sort of we dabbed in little bits
They've
of
dabbled.
symbolism to sort of hint at that, and that is, the collector is full of symbolism.
Yeah, I don't understand all this idolater speak of symbolism and enchantment. Not for me. But Magic Marmot asked, this one is gonna be tricky. Orson versus Fate.
Well, I can't choose because they're both my children in more way than one.
Oh, yes. Oh, 1 star.
Not only did I create them with the team and the writers and so on, but
Damn,
they
you
are
created
voice
Orson.
acted by my
I'm
actual
sorry to hear
children,
that.
So.
Right. Okay. So that leads me to a question from our very own Jacob, who asks, he asks, how do your kids like being voice actors? Have they watched themselves in the series? Do they see any of the fan comments?
His own children.
So they absolutely love being voice actors. They both had a really great time in the vocal booth with our voice director and
nepotism.
team. Really, really enjoyed it. They both are fans of horror in general. And you know, they're
Surprise,
young.
surprise.
They're young, right? They're 8 and 12, so that the
8
kind
and
of
12,
horror
so
they
they
like
love
right
horror the
now is
best.
stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's, and that sort of thing. But they've really enjoyed being voice actors.
That must
They
be why
really
this
got into
show is
their
so
characters. They had
PG. It was written
opinions
for his children.
about the backstory and lore of their characters, which I was impressed for. Their being 8 and 12, they really sort of opined about why Faith was this way and why Orson was that way. And
Oh, that was quick.
they
Minigame
have watched themselves in this series.
stuff has been dealt with there.
They certainly find it interesting to hear their voices coming from characters, and they definitely like relate to these characters as being kind of connected to them, which means that the scary parts of Orson and Faith's stories affect them. Zane, the 8-year-old,
Rally
had to stop watching after a while because it was
find a
becoming too
Rally.
intense for him. But yeah,
It's pretty
they did enjoy
intense.
it, and they do see some of the fan comments. I share particularly the comments that people post about enjoying their acting and enjoying the show, and they feel really proud to
They're not going to rally?
have
Why not?
been a part of helping scare you all and make
I
you
thought
think
it'd
and
be
enjoy
a rally,
this
but I don't
experience.
see a rally.
They did an amazing job. I really like, legit, I'm a fan. I can't wait to see what those rascals are gonna be up to later on in their careers. Now that I know that you trained them in the Stanislavski method. So anyway, Matt Knight OTW is asking, are we getting to resurrect Toby for one episode with Eric?
Well, depending
Can't do
on
spoilers.
the choices that you all collectively make, all sorts of things could potentially happen as we head towards our exciting finales.
Yeah, the conclusion of the canon, and we'll see if the canon can or canon can't.
When does the canon conclude exactly?
Forrest Shroud is asking, I'm still wondering about Zane, not the kid, the character, the man in the fog. Do you think he's a future protagonist cameo for another game or story?
So, not a coincidence that Zane is named Zane. He is in fact named after my son. Yes, I'm glad that people are wondering about Zane. That is actually a very important character to the Ascension universe, or
That's what I'm
portion
saying.
of the Silent Hill universe. And though you do not spend a lot of time with him, he is actually an integral player in this entire story. And what might happen in
Who
the
the
future?
F is Zane?
Yeah, like the saying says, the only thing you can't predict is the future. But there definitely is a lot going on with Zane. And
Zane.
There could be more to find out about what exactly is happening with that guy in the future.
Right.
Was that the guy at the
When
very
you say you
beginning
can
who was doing that
predict the
ritual
future,
thing?
Speak for yourself, man. You know, I can conjure it up. But Leonardo S5 asked, are there any voice actors you'd like to work with again for your next projects?
Well, I certainly intend to work with my children again for future projects whenever possible. They're fun to work with. They bring a lot of joy and energy into the vocal booth. Yeah,
such
for
divas.
sure. I mean, look, I think the entire voice cast really did put in a lot of hard work and
Their
did a
demands.
very incredible job of putting
They
together
wanted a
what's
trailer.
a very difficult project. You know, Tiffany Villalobos, who played Haugen, I have worked with before and would be happy to work with again. Michael Urso, who played Toby, I think a lot of people,
I
including
kind of
ourselves,
spelled
loved
demands
him.
as demons there because I
Julia, who played Astrid,
didn't get all of that last D.
Ian, who played Eric, Wilma, who played Rachel, Katie, who played Joy. I think, you know, they kind of went the extra mile. They engaged with the fandom. They did a great job with their characters. So
They've
yeah,
been
I mean,
great.
I think
You didn't get
for the
all
right
that last D.
role, I think the voice cast would definitely be folks that we would talk to again.
Everybody's hired. Just kidding. We'll see. So people are asking some questions about the what if season. That's coming from various people.
So what
basically, are we
exactly
gonna see more seasons
is
of
what
the
if?
series?
Yeah, so the idea behind the what if season is the what you just saw over the weeks that have gone past since Halloween. It's going to start all over again from where we are at the beginning on Halloween of last year. And the story is going to progress through again, except this time, all of the, or many of the decisions that were made canonically will not be available. And you'll have an opportunity to see what would have happened if some other choices had been made.
I love that. We get a little peek into the other side again, because in real life we can't really see what would happen. So this is pretty cool that
It's
we
really
get to
confusing that
what
they said they're not
if.
going to start the simulation again.
I see
Does,
that Hector
does that mean
also
they'll
asked, the series is almost over.
make some questions be the same?
So, the arc that you've been enjoying since Halloween is almost over. And, you know, what may or may not happen in the future with Silent Hill, Miles, with Silent Hill Interactive Streaming Series remains to be determined.
They call these things Miles.
Like I said, the only thing you can't predict is the future. But in the meanwhile, we have announced other GenVid projects. We have our DC Justice League project, DC Heroes United, coming out. And we also announced that we're working on Borderlands Echo Vision Live.
That was the other
So
one.
we
Yeah,
have other
the DC Heroes thing.
Interactive streaming, socially interactive streaming series / Miles in the pipeworks.
Well, DC have emoji.
Where we're gonna
Aquaman
go
seems like
beyond
he'd be
that,
into
we'll
it.
see. It's definitely been a lot of fun. Watching
Direct
the
current.
audience enjoy our work, and you know,
That's what DC
right
stands
now
for.
we're focused on Justice League, and we'll see where things go from there.
Right. So I have a couple more questions here. I see Skinny Tie asks, Silent Hill Ascension has a very real focus on inclusion and diversity, which is new for the Silent Hill franchise. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GenVid as a company has always, since I started working with them, had a focus on inclusion. The fact that our experiences are streaming video over the network with a light overlay on top for interactivity is deliberate. It allows people all over the world to enjoy our experiences. People in places like India or the
Questions
Philippines,
flying by.
Malaysia, that might not necessarily be able to play one of the core games in the franchises that we've worked with and are working with, Silent Hill, Borderlands, the Walking Dead games, can engage. And so we've always looked at being inclusive in our characters, because we're trying to
LGBT community? Question mark.
make it
They can add more
welcoming to
letters.
people all over the world.
I'm sorry, you had like
So,
Q in there at some point, and then
it's
a plus.
definitely something that we look at doing deliberately and try to make something that can be that has characters that many people around the world are able to relate to, and not just one specific demographic.
Except those.
Right. And that's really nice that you can relate, because sometimes I watch like exorcism movies, and I find it,
Brazil,
silly
maybe Spanish.
sometimes,
Let's say
because
Spanish.
they're talking about my peoples, the demons and such. Secunda Vita asked, would Howgrid be the first open gay couple in Silent Hill lore?
I think the answer is yes. I mean, that's really a question for Konami, but when all this stuff that I played through,
I'm sure there could be some random person who is openly gay, but just doesn't happen to mention it during the flow of being murdered by monsters.
There's a first, but not last, maybe. We would see. So, final audience question for tonight, because I feel like I'm exhausting our darling Stefan. Thank you so much for being here for us. Mr. P-Slosh asks, Silent Hill historically takes inspiration from many classic works. What literary inspirations did Ascension have?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
He's thinking of off the top of his
Obviously,
head now.
because we are in the Silent Hill universe, we're drawing on a lot of the same inspirations that they used in creating the foundational lore. I will say that one of the writers that worked on the project with us for
the question is,
a
are
long
you
time
okay?
was a writer named Richard Kadri, who has a series of novels called Sandman Slim, and I was personally inspired. Richard was one of my very first bosses decades ago, and then we got to switch. And I was inspired the way that Richard looks at classical lore and remixes it in how we
before
approach
retirement.
building the lore for Silent Hill Ascension. And that meant looking at a lot of works of classical, not necessarily
boss at
literature,
that time.
but esoterica.
It's the final boss.
Looking at things like the works of people like Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey.
Final boss.
The source works that they would go to, things like Arts Goetia and stuff like that. Like, we really looked at sort of the history of occultism and demonology, and how that intersects with religion and psychology. Jung, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, some pop contemporary influences, some ancient and middle contemporary influences, yeah, that's we definitely looked a lot at occult works, both practitioner works and fictional works. So.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much, Stefan, for answering all these questions. Thank you so much, audience, for asking those questions. We are nearing the end here, but as you know, the end might not be final for some. Some of us might resurrect again. But really, thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you, audience.
Riveting
great questions,
stuff.
Great answers. Let's recap
yes, that
Caro
has an Instagram, which is that, and he did some random fan art, which is quite a lot of Silent Hill affiliated fan art. It's quite a
sometimes I find it, even though I sold it,
quite
but
a deep
sometimes I can still get in touch
load of
with
variety.
Anyway,
Lots of from this game and the other Silent Hills.
We have also Eric's Final Fate coming up. Don't want to miss it. Tune in next week as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much, Stefan, for your time. Production, can you please show the next show graphic before we wrap up?
Next show.
So we have our next pre-show at 5:40 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. We have those on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Then we have the show at 6 p.m. Pacific time on weekdays, and the post-show right after on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, Stefan, thank you again so much. Any parting words?
Carl just disappeared. No one really noticed.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoying, engaging, and leading our characters to some good. And
well,
some
he was
bad
Carl.
traits.
He was smiling Carl.
And we are very appreciative of the audience. We do it for you, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, everybody. So I hope you have a very spooky, ghostly weekend, and I will see you next week.
Yeah, I have a spooky, ghostly weekend every weekend, so totally understand that. Well, there you go. Every last second there of the greatest game ever made, Silent Hill Ascension, for today. Let us resume again next time on Game-Geki. GG. Well, I actually almost played correctly for once.